Hello, my friends. I want to show you a little bit about Excel 8. This is our last Excel assignment. Very exciting. And we're going to be doing a couple things with histograms just to try to really help you understand this whole concept of a distribution. I have to remember to share this. Let's do that. Bingo. Okay. So this is the first page. You've got a table that's already set up for you. You just need to fill in the frequencies here. How are we going to fill in the frequencies? Well, we got to go over to this sheet and we got to look. This is a lot of students. Yep, lots and lots and lots and lots of students. Now, what we are doing is we are essentially putting each student, which is a person, into the category that they belong in. So the 21-year-old would go into this category. Now you can imagine that if I was doing this by hand, it would take me a very long time to sort through everything. So that's, again, where technology helps us out. Click on the top column, the letter A, and then you go over here to sort and filter, and you sort smallest to largest. When it says expand the selection, you want to not accept that. Just continue with the current selection. Okay, so what happens after that is you should have a list of all the students in order. Now that's really helpful because then I can go and I can count how many there are between 15 and 19. Now again, to do that, do not do it by hand, but use your select tool, which means go in the middle of the cell, scroll down, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. There's 20-year-olds. I go back up to the last 19-year-old and I stop. Remember that down here it says the count, sum, and average, but I'm interested in the count. There's 131 of those people. So I go 131. Boom. So you're going to keep doing that for each of these, and then you've got yourself a table, and we're going to make a bar graph off of that. Okay, so now let me do it on some other information because I, of course, don't want to do it for you. Let's say I've got 10 to 12-year-olds. Let's say I have 20 to 25-year-olds, 26 to 30-year-olds, 31 to 35-year-olds, 36 to 40-year-olds. Okay, I've got 45 of these, 89 of these, 54 of these, and 12 of these. When you create a histogram, you've got a couple of choices. Now, we're going to do it the kind of old-fashioned way, which is we're just going to build it by brute force using the bar graph. So when you highlight the information, don't highlight the whole thing, just highlight what you want to create the graph out of. Go up to insert, you go to the bar chart. That's the first one up top here. I'll pick the first one here. It makes the graph for me. Okay, notice it's got my labels here. Okay, that's good. That's what I want. It's got this here. It doesn't have my axis titles, so I need to put those on. Right, this is going to be the number of people, and this is going to be my age range. And then, well, I don't have a context here, but I would change that to be reflective. Now, really all I need to do, this is already almost a histogram, I just need to change the gap width. So what I do is I right click on one of these bars, go down to Format Data Series, and then over here you have gap width. And the easiest way to do it is just to pull the slider down to the left to 0, boom, you got yourself a histogram. Okay? One of the points of making a histogram is that it visually is apparent whether there's a skew, and that tells you stuff about the mean and the median and your expectations about that. It should tell you something about that. Remember that the thing about the skew is well, let me put one more on here. Sorry, 41 to 45. And let's say there's 3 people. And I'm going to expand this to include that guy. Okay. This thing over here is what we call a tail, right? It's a tail because there's data over here, but it's kind of trailing off. It's getting smaller. And the tail is the part that tells us about the skew. This is skewed right because the tail is to the right. That tells me that probably the mean is going to be greater than the median. And the reason it tells me that is because these numbers here in my 41 to 45 range are essentially bringing the whole average up if I include them. But if I do the median, I'm just getting the middle number, and then it's not skewing the center. So that's kind of an important and difficult conceptual point that we've hit a couple of times this course. Okay, so let's see. What do you need to do to finish? You've done this. You've created your graph. There's some questions over here. I want you to find the mean and the median. You can fill it in these boxes here. Of course, you're using your formulas. Look back at Excel 3 if you don't remember the formulas. We've done that a bunch of times though, so you should be comfortable with what the mean and the median formulas are. Take these words and choose the right one and put them into these boxes. That's what I intend for you to do here. And then in this, again, the idea behind all of these Excel assignments and the summary questions is just to get you practice responding to complex questions with multiple parts, writing, creating a paragraph to kind of say what you're trying to say here. So just go one point at a time. Does the distribution look normal or skewed? If it's skewed, say which way it is skewed. Why does that make sense for this population? So remember that the population we're talking about are Ivy Tech students. And what does that imply about the median versus the mean? You should be using this sentence here to help you. And then you're bringing in the numbers, which you have here, to support what you're saying. Okay. So that's it for Excel. Boom, done. And the last things you have to do are going to be your projects, which we'll have some time in the last week to work on. All right. Talk to you later.